Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. And today we are going to discuss mosquito spray, which is very timely because it's the middle of summer and the mosquitoes are starting to become prolific. I'll let Lynn give a little introduction to this topic.
All right, well, a lot of you who are dealing with mosquitoes and other flying insects are probably having to use different types of sprays, and some of them may be something that you're warned not to get in your eyes. And so we have a mosquito spray that's been put together using plasma energy. And Paul, do you want to tell them what's in the mosquito spray?
Yeah, in mosquito spray, there's a combination of the different GANs waters. The main component is CO2, and then there's copper, and then there's CH3, and a little bit of Korean B9 salt. And those are all of the ingredients for the combination mosquito spray that does not kill the mosquitoes. It just makes the environment around you undesirable so that the mosquitoes will leave you alone.
So when you say you have those combinations, have you put them together in a GANs format?
Yes, this is what GANs looks like, and this happens to be the GANs of CO2, which is one of the components, but they're all CO2, CH3, B9, and zinc all look similar to this. CH3 is a different color, and we mix it in a certain proportion that is most effective.
And what does GANs stand for?
GANs is an acronym for gas in atomic nano solid state.
Okay, so what you do with the mosquito is you're going to get a vial, and when it's warm weather and we're sending warm door to warm door, you're going to get a vial that looks like this. This is a little glass 2-dram vial with a screw top lid. You never open this vial. Now the vial is going to go taped onto a clear glass or clear plastic jar, or it can go inside the jar. As long as you're not jostling it around a lot, it's a glass vial. If it's in a glass jar, you might have a little problem with that combination. So I would put it on the outside of the jar. Now, if your jar is sitting on a counter that's kind of a busy traffic area, tape it on with clear packing tape, and then you could even take some bubble wrap and put over it just so if it gets jostled, it doesn't break. And you never undo the lid. You don't dump the water inside. You always keep it in this. And how does this act, this little vial? Does it act as to change the water?
Oh, yeah, it's acts as a battery to charge the water. It's not really a battery, but it does send a plasmatic field through the glass into the water to charge the water with the plasmatic field of whatever's in the vial, making the water in the jar plasmatic water that we use for our desired effect.
Now, if somebody, well, let me cover one other thing. If it's wintertime and you live in the warm southern parts of the country, you're going to tell me the weather's fine, don't worry about sending the glass. But my problem is on my end, because we get sometimes 22-degree below weather. And when these little glass vials are left on a shipping dock somewhere, they may freeze and break. So what we do instead is we send you a larger vial. It's a clear BPA-free plastic, and the lid has been secured with electrical tapes. We don't want you to open it. We know that when these are frozen, they are not going to break. We have tested that. So if you end up with the bigger vial and it's plastic and you have a glass jar, this is going to be fine inside. But I will tell you, this tape may unwind at some point and you'll just have to take it out of there. But still just leave the lid screwed on and leave the contents in the vial. If you're outside of the country, we're going to send you a pair of patches. And these, when you get them, these have been infused with this plasma energy, the mosquito plasma energy water. When you get those, you're going to put them on the outside of a container. You can put them on with rubber band. You can tie them on. You can put them on with tape. And if for any reason they get kind of worn after a couple years, just put them in new plastic bags. You don't even have to take them out of the worn bag. Just slip them in a new bag and tape it all shut and continue to use it. Now, if you want to make patches or vials for other people, Paul, let's say I had a whole jar of this and I've got 4 friends that I want to give a vial of water to, and so I take it out of my changed water and put it in more vials. Which of the 5 vials is going to be the strongest?
They'll all be the same, and you can take a vial and give it to each one of your friends, and they can use it just like you used your original vial and duplicate the process.
And the same is true for the patches. Once you've made your water, if you want to make more patches, you can do that. These are easy to mail, and you're not having to deal with liquids or anything breakable. So if you want to make patches and mail them to someone else, if you made 3 dozen patches, the 36th pair of patches you make is going to have the same strength as the very first pair.
Right.
Okay, so now the other thing you can do with it, you can put it in a spray bottle, okay? And you can see the vial in the spray bottle. I always turn it upside down and I don't need to. Now this has color to it, and we tell you not to use opaque or crockery or stainless steel, but since you can see inside of this, it's okay that because it is still a clear plastic even though it's tinted. Now, if we were going to go out and be out for the day, I would take this along and I'd just simply be spraying all over with it. And one thing Paul and I have noticed, and we've had a lot of moisture this summer where we are, when we go out and sit by the creek, we're not really bothered by any flying insects.
No, not at all, really.
And it's a time of year that a lot of people are doing this and that. Now the other thing you can do, let's say he's going to be wearing this cap, I can spray the whole cap. And if I'm going to go out and have my summer hat on, I'll just take and spray the whole hat. And so I've got more surrounding me. We can also take and just completely spray all over ourselves. And this is something you really can't do if you're using some of the commercial sprays on the market, because you're going to get oil stains in your clothing and things like this. And so there's no harmful ingredients in the mosquito spray that we're using. And another thing that you might want to do, you can take this and spray around your doors and windows, anywhere you have an opening into the house. Spray the threshold. And I've done this a couple years in a row. I didn't even do it this summer. And we used to get flies in here, and we always had a fly swatter handy. I don't even know where the fly swatter is, do you?
No, we haven't had any flies this summer. I haven't seen any.
Well, we had one. Now, one buzzed by me one day, and I didn't see the fly again. And a couple days later, I went in the back, by the back door, and there's a curtain over the back door, and there's a chair near the door. One of the cats was sitting there staring intently at the window, but when I looked at the window, there was nothing there. When I pulled the curtain back, there's a lone fly, like maybe the poor old thing's trying to get out. It doesn't like the energy in the house. So I just opened the door and whooshed him out, and the fly was gone. So it'd probably been there like, man, isn't anybody going to come and let me out? And that's usually not your experience. Now, we know people that have placed this type of combination in a plastic water bottle, maybe about the size of this, but it would be plastic, and hang it off the size of a hot tub or a swimming pool. And what that's going to do, and if it's a swimming pool with a lot of water in it, it's going to take a little while. That's a lot of volume to deal with. But what it's going to do is make that whole body of water undesirable to the flying insects. And some people who've had pools that have done this have said, you know, if there's a lot of insects in the summer, it can be a real issue with just bugs all over the top of the swimming pool. And once they did that, they didn't have any problems at all. And that led to, well, it worked on the pool, let's go spray inside the house. And it worked inside the house. Because in some of your climates and locations, no matter how careful you are at shutting the door, I can remember saying to the kids when they were little, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. That's like a mantra. And it's a relief not to have to worry all the time about, oh, shut the door, we don't want to let any of the flying insects in. Now, there's another thing that I want to bring up about mosquito, the spray, because some of the information coming out now is that Lyme disease is not only carried by ticks. It is now found to be carried by other flying insects. So this would be a nice thing to have. Is it going to keep the ticks off your body? I guess that would be for a hardy soul to experiment with. But I do want to mention that we do have another formula called Lyme Relief, and that was put together with all holistic vitamins, minerals, homeopathics, and supplements. And the whole idea was to come up with something that was not a pharmaceutical and was a duplicatable type of application to use for Lyme disease. So think about adding Mosquito Relief to your plasma energy pantry. And is there anything else you can think of?
I can't. I think that's about it.
Okay, well, we want to thank you for watching this video, and thank you for sharing it with your friends. We appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. And, oh, Paul, you want to give them our website?
You can see this product and all of our products at plasmaenergysolution.com. And thanks again. Give us a big thumbs up and subscribe so you'll be able to get notification of the new videos coming out. Thank you again.